Good morning, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Arepo, and you can call me Dr. A. I have sent you several emails regarding the course already. Hopefully, you've had a chance to explore the course. And what I've done basically, when you go to the homepage of the course, I have put some numbers. You just follow the numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number one is basically welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. And I wish you all best of luck. Number two, class philosophy. So this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know that you're not in this alone. The bottom line is, class, we are all here to learn from one another, and we are all here to help one another. So that's really the class philosophy that I believe in. The next one is the announcements. And I've been sending you emails/announcements. So let me get this thing going. So let me put that in the student mode. Whether you click on the announcement on the left navigation bar or right here makes no difference. It takes you here. The idea was to look at some old recorded orientation, exemption to orientation, and welcome to your virtual course. I've sent you several of those already, so we don't have to worry about that. However, anything that I send you, most everything will be put in the announcement, will be sent to you as an email also. If you miss anything, you can always go back there and find it under the announcement. The next one is number 4. What do we find under number 4? Syllabus, modules, homework and quiz, discussion forum, exams. And you find the office hours here, as well as on your syllabus, which is different than attending the class. To attend the class, on the left navigation bar where it reads Zoom or Tech Connect Zoom, all you have to do, join the course. Of course, joining the course on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, that's the synopsis of number 4. Let's look at each and every one of them, starting with the syllabus. First, I want to look at the Excel calendar. So roughly every few weeks, we have an exam. And it covers about a chapter or so. For example, the first one is coming up on February 25th. So, and it tells you on the right side the sections that we should be really on in order to be on top of our game and don't get behind. So that's one thing. The next one is, actually it's at top of that, is the actual syllabus. And of course, welcoming you to the course. And then notice I put them in topic format, so you can go to the topic of interest. Needless to say, nowadays, the syllabi are extremely long. Gives you the course, the name of a course, student learning outcome, objectives. And just for the sake of argument, of course, we are going to learn about application and definition of laws of limits, interpret and evaluate derivatives of various functions using rules of derivatives, analyze comprehensive graphs of functions by calculus method, so on and so forth. The text is available to you in the form of an ebook of course, it's the 9th edition of Calculus Early Transcendental by James Stewart. And online assignments are done by WebAssign. And this is using Math 60 First Day Digital Access, where you, as soon as you get to the Canvas, you have access to that. And this is the information that has been provided by the publisher. I put them here. These are not the information that I have come up with. So this is from the publisher. Class calendar, of course, today is the first meeting, call it orientation / start. And these are the dates of the exams, and the exam reviews take place prior weeks to the exam. And of course, we want to follow the Canvas timeline, and we follow 5 modules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules. We have 4 modules and 4 exams. The final is comprehensive. We study from the previous exams plus the new module. So to master the information for the final, to be able to do well, all you have to do is study the previous 4 exams and the new module, module 5. As I mentioned, there are no proctorials, so on and so forth. Attending review sessions is highly recommended, but if you don't, everything will be recorded and posted. By the way, exams expire at 11:59 p.m., which means, just for the sake of argument, let's say I start at 11 p.m., that means I have only 59 minutes. You don't want to do that, okay? So you want to enjoy the entire time, and I highly recommend you take it while you're fresh, while you can think before it's too late and you're tired and you take the exam, probably by 8 or 9. Meeting important dates, calculators. You may need a graphing calculator, and under the resources, I'll show you how to get one for free. But as far as the exams, mostly you can use a scientific calculator. And here's the tech support for the publisher, WebAssign. We have also the tech support for our campus here. Math Success Center, for short MSC, and I'll show you on Canvas also the link that we have for them, the information about other websites, important websites, helpful websites, and probably the most important thing would be the grading policy. So we have online homework, which is worth 200 points, and you have multiple attempts. Quiz, you have 1 attempt, it's 50 points. Review participation / discussion board, I'll show you, that's 50 points. There are 5 of them, each one is 10 points. There are 4 exams, each one is worth 100 points. And so you get 400 points there. The final, as I mentioned, is comprehensive, 300 points. However, to get ready for that, all you have to do, master the previous exams. And then you have 1 new module about the chapter also. You will receive an email / announcement a few days in advance about the exam. And you can take the exam anytime you want after you receive the password, as long as it's done before the due date. So that's why there is really no makeup exam. If something comes up, you can let me know if I can, accommodate you, as long as it's acceptable by campus. Also, among the first 4 exams, I will drop the lowest exam grade as long as, and replace it by the final, as long as the final score is B. That means 80% or higher. Homework, quiz, and discussion board are way up at 95%. And more importantly, this action will result in a higher letter grade. If I do the change and it doesn't change your letter grade, it defeats the purpose. And if you miss any exam, it is worth 0. So you don't want to miss any exam. Course late work policy, basically, there's a 10% deduction if you do something late. You really don't want to do that. Try to do everything in a timely fashion. Of course, exams don't have any late passes, if you will. And one thing that is important, I think, how much time do I need to be successful in this course? This is a website by CSULB Study 36. It explains that roughly you need 3 hours to study per unit, aside from your class to do well. So this is a 5-unit course, therefore we need 15 hours minimum to be successful. And that, of course, depends on prior knowledge of mathematics. Dropping policy, students who are not here the first day, or they don't start with the publisher, or miss the first assignment or any assignment, or the first or second exam will be dropped. You're here, you're in good shape, you don't have to worry about anything. Other information such as the SPS financial aid, summary steps to succeed in the course. You want to study the PowerPoints in each module and watch their video lectures. Do your homework and quiz before the deadline. Study the practice test. We mean the exam review. We mean the, chapter PowerPoint. That's the idea. Okay, there are different ways of calling it. And post question in the discussion forum on Canvas. Send a question if you have via Canvas inbox or campus email, and attend the review sessions that take place prior to each exam. And again, or watch the recording and take the exam by their duty. Here's where you find the student office hours and at the bottom of the homepage of Canvas, okay? So that's the student office hours, which obviously has a different Zoom link. And then we have, of course, more information such as basic needs, Justice Scholar Program. And finally, I want to discuss this netiquette for online learnings. The following netiquette guidelines, behaviors associated with socializing online, are suggested for success in your online learning environment. In short, a few interesting points. Number one, we want to be professional and courteous. That's really important. And we really want to do that, not just in educational setting, in every setting. This is a college course, so you want to use correct spelling and grammar. So if you're contacting your instructor, your professor, please make sure you use the correct spelling and grammar. And of course, a positive tone throughout the course. And follow the course discussion board. Discussion board, I will go over that, ask you to do specific steps to receive for credit. And obviously, we want to be respectful of others. And this is called cyberspace. So we want to be aware of where we are and what we are doing. So let's go back to the home page. So after the syllabus, it's modules. I can click on the modules right here or on the left navigation bar. Either way makes no difference. And this is where I can find homework and quiz, WebAssign, and the exam discussion forum is a different story. I will click on that, and I'm going to show you what's happening here. The very first thing is the WebAssign that you can access. You have to register and so forth. I'm going to leave this for the end. Then you see exam 1 module, which has a pre-calculus review, diagnostic tests and keys, chapter 2 limits and derivatives. Then we have exam 2 modules that has, again, these are the PowerPoints, chapter 3, chapter 4, exam 4. Okay, so module 3, module 4, module 5. And then this one, these are the chapters chapter reviews that we are going to go over. And as long as you get comfortable with those, you should, this is the synopsis of the whole chapter, you should have an easy time with the exam. And the last one is some commands and graphing calculators. But I want to quickly show you here, I'll start with the bottom one, is that, so we have the information about TI calculator. And on the first page, I have put the information as to how to get an emulator. I got to be honest with you, sometimes this thing doesn't work, but if you try this and if need be, get help from the IT department, you may be able to get a TI calculator emulator. TI calculator emulator. If it works out, and the reason I say it, because believe me, sometimes when I go to a different desktop or laptop and I want to, if I get a new one and I want to make this work, it takes a long time. If it works out, it'll look like this. So you do have that, and it's free. Again, it's something that I've tried and it has worked for me. And again, I can't make this work for all my laptops and desktops, but mostly they have. So give it a shot. Next, there are some commands. Okay. All right. So these are some commands if you know you want to get familiar with that. So that's as far as the last part of the module is concerned, which is about a calculator. Also, there are other resources. If I can, you know, try to put other resources for you here that you can find them online. I will add those in case. So you can find free calculators. Now, let's see if this stuff works. I know that this morning I was checking something and this didn't work. Let me see this. Okay, so these are the very first exam module. These are the PowerPoints. If I click on the first one, for example, here's what I want you to notice. If you download these PowerPoints and you put them in slide mode, it gives you line by line, step by step work, especially if it happened to be an example. For example, if you're looking at this one, it appears that the whole page shows up in one shot. That's not what's going to happen. Okay. In fact, if you look at the recording that I have, you'll see that everything is done step by step, not in a whole page. This is just showing you in one shot, but you have to download and put it in slide mode. So going back to that, what comes before that? Let me see if I can get this one for you. All right. Now, this one class is prior knowledge of mathematics. There's a diagnostic test, and it has the answer to each question. Now, if you think it's too much, you can do a few, okay, randomly, just to test your prior knowledge of mathematics, because generally speaking, anyone who taking calculus, if they have any difficulty, it's just a prior knowledge of mathematics. It's got nothing to do with calculus. And I'm gonna announce it right here. Calculus is the easiest course you ever take under one condition. Prior knowledge of mathematics is met, meaning you have no problem with algebra, trigonometry, geometry. Then it becomes a piece of cake. And that's extremely important to understand. Now, as I mentioned, this is, and as far as the modules are concerned, just For now, we are concerned with the first module. Never mind the rest. But as you go down, what I want you to notice, these are the chapter reviews. And we have the PowerPoints. Starting with chapter 1, and we have them in a PDF file format or a PowerPoint. I have both of them because in case somebody has a problem with PowerPoint. If you click on the PowerPoint format and again, download it and you put it in slide mode, you'll see the answer step by step. And that's basically what we are going to cover, which gives you the synopsis of what you need. So again, under the modules, this is the last one we're going to go over. It's for WebAssign. For now, you're concerned with the exam 1 module. Also, at the end, there are 2 things: information about the TI calculator. Maybe you can get a TI calculator emulator. And the one before that, there are different chapters. All the chapters we cover, including the first chapter, which is in essence, prior knowledge of mathematics that you really want to check. So that's what we find under the modules. Let's go back to the home page. And again, homework and quizzes and exams, everything is done in WebAssign. What else I want to look at is the discussion forum here. So again, you can click on the discussion forum right here, or on the left navigation bar, you can click on the discussions. So what do we find? First, student bios. I put mine as an example. And you can read others and put yours so your fellow students get to know you. The next one is frequently asked questions. In the past, students asked questions, and what I gather are compiled and I put it here. For example, how to use the math editor. It explains here. And I will show you also as I go through another discussion forum. Tech support, where to find exam passwords. This was a question that came up often. So announcements with the exam titles are emailed to students and have all the information, including the exam passwords. Going back to the discussion, after those 2, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules and their discussion forum, DB for short. This is where you get points. Each one is worth 10 points. So here's the, I highly recommend you, before you do this, you read this very carefully so you know the instruction. So you are required to post at least 1 question and its solution. This question must be chosen from the topic covered in this module. So if you pick a question which is not covered in this module and it's another module, it's not acceptable. A question of your own choosing from any source per grading policy in the syllabus. You must read all the posts and make sure not to duplicate any questions. Similar questions are acceptable. Read all the posts, questions, and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with 1 word, 1 line solution, or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points. This gives you 5 points. I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm asking you. Please pick a worthy question. Okay, sometimes students, they just want to do a mediocre job. Pick a worthy question. So write the question. If it's just for the sake of argument, you pick up from the text somewhere, you can write down section so and so and the question number. That's what I mean by a number here. Show all steps using the math equation editor or embed an image solution as explained below. Over here, look at the one I've done. I basically put a solution, a picture of a solution, and you can do the same thing. And I explain here how to do that and also how to use the math editor. Why am I asking you to do that? Because sometimes students upload a PDF file which is not acceptable. If the students can't see it right then and there, and if they have to download it, you won't get any points for that. I want students to be able to see your work right then and there. Then number 2, find a similar problem online or on YouTube or Khan Academy and post the link. So pick a similar question, put it up there. Comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice, but it's not a comment. To receive a credit, write the name of your classmate. So you look at everybody's work, that's my assumption, and then somebody's work you want to comment on, you have to write the name and what really the question is all about and what did you learn, okay? It doesn't have to be a huge paragraph, but you have to be clear as to what you've learned. For example, here's the question that, I want to evaluate this limit. I'm going over that, and this is 0 over 0. It's indeterminate. We multiply by the conjugate. We do the math. Step by step is solved. And then what happens? I pick a similar question, and I put the link here. And then I'm going to comment on somebody's work, supposedly. This post was about evaluating a limit algebraically. When the limit has a square root in its numerator, take the following steps. Plug in. If it's 0, I'm explaining, first of all, what the question was about. Secondly, what I learned. And this is what I want you to do. So how to embed the images here, to use a math editor. How do you use the math editor? When you reply here and then insert and click on the symbol for the square root of x. So if I click here and if I click on insert, it gives me this square root of x equation. If I click on it, then the math editor shows up. Okay. So very straightforward. I'm going to cancel this. So this was about the first module discussion for it. The rest of them repeat in the same manner. You just answer a question, you pick up a question and answer, you do exactly the same thing from that module of interest. I'm going to go back to the home page. So we went over the syllabus modules, and now let's go over WebAssign. And so to do that, let's go back to this modules, and right here, if you click here, you have a chance to register. Okay, everybody. So you register, it takes you to WebAssign, and when you're here, let me put this in student mode. It gives you the assignments. You can always click on this one. If you miss it, you can click on this one for the grades, communication, calendar, my ebook. You can click on my ebook here or down here. Now, these are the assignments. And on the right side, you have the due dates. Now, let's look at the first one. You see all of them are due the same day, February 24. February 24th. Okay. And so why is that? Well, everything that pertains to the first module, okay, up to here, are due then. What does it mean? Do I have to wait until February 24th to do the work? No, absolutely not. By the end of this week, for example, you want to do maybe 2-3 sections, okay? So we have about, for the first exam, 8 sections. So at the end of this week, and again, I didn't want to make him do every day or every other day because sometimes students don't have time. But please understand, If you wait until that time, you will not be able to do the work, okay? And right after that, on the 25th, is the first exam, and you won't be ready for that. So again, all of them seem to be, if you start from 2.1 all the way to 2.8, homework and quizzes, and then it goes to March 24th. All of them are due February 24th. Please do a section a day, or maybe a couple of days, a few days, or do maybe 2-3 sections per week. Okay, 4 sections per week to be on the safe side. I am hoping on the week of the exam, you have nothing to do except to concentrate on your exam and practice with the synopsis of that chapter. So these are where you find your assignments. So homework is here. You can pick a question and go to that question. And notice what happens. You can answer the question, read it carefully, or many of these questions have a video example class. I would highly recommend you watch the video example.
The flash unit on a camera.
And of course, I'm going to stop it. But my point being, if I have any difficulty with this question, the video example pretty much makes it clear for me. Look at the next one. There's another video example. So there are video examples for many of the questions that I've checked, they do. And that is really awesome because now I can easily do the work. And when I'm done, I can submit my assignment, or I've done a couple of questions. I'm not done. I'm going to save the assignment progress, and I'm going to come back to submit the assignment. What happens, I believe, when the due date comes, if you don't submit the assignment after the due date, it does it automatically as far as I know. So save the assignment progress, come back and submit the assignment. You can always pick up a similar question to do, by the way. Okay. They also have help here. Read it. If you click on read it, it will take you to the text. Section that the topic of interest is there. Okay. So that's then the assignments. Some of you may be familiar with that. And if I go back to the home page, what is I think is interesting here is, of course, you have the grades. By the way, every time you take you do a homework or a quiz, you know your grade. At the end of the semester, the total grade, I will put it in Canvas. For your homework would be 200 points, which means whatever the percentage is. Let's say the course is over, you got 90%, so 90% times 200 will go on Canvas. Same thing for the quiz, it's 50 points. I look at the percentage, you got, I don't know, 95%, so 95% times 50 points. That's how you get your points. As far as calendar is concerned also, if you click on the calendar, it shows everything for the first module is due here, okay? Let's go back to the home page. I want to, again, you can click on here for my ebook right here or right here. So the text is available. You can go to the chapter of interest. You can listen. You can make the font larger. I believe you can even print. So that's the ebook. If you click on the left lines, 3 lines. It gives you the section numbers. You can click on the section of interest. So that's the ebook. So you have the ebook. Over here, email notification setting. You can ask it to email you reminder regarding what? When everything is due. I really don't think you want to turn this on. What I want you to remember to do a couple of sections, 2, 3 sections per week. So you don't have to use that. But if need be, it is also available. And of course, this has it in different, it has it in English and Spanish. So again, all the assignments can be found here on the home page. And it's very easy to navigate. We have the WebAssign with the homework as well as the ebook. So here's the synopsis of what we need to do. We go to the home page. First, there's a welcoming message. Then which is welcoming you to the course. Then it's the class philosophy, which basically says we are all here to learn, respect one another, and help each other. The next one is the announcements. Under the announcements, what was sent to you already, you can find also what will be coming up. As after they are emailed to you, you can also find them there. Then you follow the steps, you can find the syllabus and the information about the course. Under the modules, you can find my PowerPoints, homework quizzes for the WebAssign. You can find the discussion forum right here on the left navigation bar or right here. You can take the exams also under the modules. Remember the WebAssign. Here's the office hours. 2 things I want to add here. Actually, 3 things. I want to remind you again, on the left navigation bar, the Tech Connect Zoom take us to our course, to our meetings. The next one is the Math Success Center. If you need tutoring, Math Success Center, the tutoring center is available. They give you the timing right here. The tutoring, free calculator loan program, resource libraries. They have final exam reviews. They have NetTutor. I believe NetTutor is free and available 24 hours a day. You can click on it and check it out. Free MathStat tutoring. So there are a lot of resources here. I hope you spend a few minutes navigating this Math Success Center and see if you're interested in any of the services that they offer you. Where do you find this? On the left navigation bar where it says Math Success Center, short MSc. Now, the next thing I want to mention, right before that is the recorded practice test lectures. What do we find here? First and foremost, the first one, I'm going to change this to 2023, and I'm going to put the new ones as we go through them. These are the practice test exam reviews. So that didn't work last time. But what do you find next? It says YouTube Calculus 1 lectures playlist from 1.1 to 6.5. Take a look. That's why I said, in essence, this is a flipped class. So everything that you have, the PowerPoints are available to you, and the lectures on these PowerPoints are available from 1.1 all the way to the end, 6.5. And of course, chapter 1 is the review, if you will. We start with 2.1. I want you to know that, just for the sake of argument.
Good evening, class. We are looking at chapter 2, limits and derivatives.
All right. So we have the lectures. We have the video lectures, the PowerPoints, just about everything. Going back to it. What is the next one? This is an older one. In this old one, I also have exam reviews from different setting, meaning the sections that they were covered in the exams may be different, but nevertheless, it's exam review covering, in this case, from 1.1 to 2.4. As you go down, in this case, from, for exam 2 was 2.5 to 2.8, 3.1 to 3.5, and it may not be the same for this class, but I'm telling you that is also available. So I want to make sure that you navigate both of them and decide. I would highly recommend you stick with the top one. And this one, I'm going to change it to a new one and put it up here as we go through that. Well, this should be the synopsis of what we need to do. Again, most everything can be found under the modules. Pay attention that your PowerPoints can be found over there. And also, the recorded practice test has everything you need. Going back to the modules, the very first one takes you to your WebAssign, which means that you can do your homework there and you have access to your ebook. So I hope it's clear to everybody. I wish everybody best of luck and happy studying, everybody.